Hi, I'm Rebecca, and welcome to the Parent-Teacher Bridge, where you can find the resources you need to empower you to be your child's most influential teacher. Have you been told that your child needs a little bit more practice on the concept of addition? Maybe you're a homeschool parent and your child is just now coming to the part of math where they learn to add. Stick around. I'm going to share with you some very simple and affordable ideas that you can use to help your child with the idea of addition. Number 1, use actual objects for teaching addition called manipulatives. Now, these don't have to be anything fancy. You can just grab some pencils, some pieces of cereal or candy if you like, but what I find most helpful is to just order a set of regular counting blocks. Now, you might say, when my child first starts adding, I'm going to use the plus sign and the equal sign. So basically, you're making an equation, or some children's books call them number sentences, okay? And you're going to have your answer or your sum right there, okay? But I find it's helpful to actually use real objects. Let's look at that one. So we have a group of 2 blue and 1 green. You can have your child count each, maybe line them up, and then write the numbers where they belong. And how many total? You can even have your child physically move them over here, or they might even like to collect them. Whenever I first start adding, I usually have objects where they can move them, and I usually start by only adding 1 first. From there, you can practice adding 2, and then you can practice adding 3. Here are just a few examples of some very basic addition problems that you can use with your child where you are only adding a 1 or a 2 or a 3. And you can use the blocks each and every time that you work the problem and allow your child to fill in the blanks on the equation. On adding 1 to a number, or 2 to a number, or 3 to a number, you might just start with the numbers 1 through 5. And how would you add 1, 2, and 3 to those numbers? But after your child has the handle on that, you can try some larger numbers like 7, 8, and 9. What happens when you add 1 to those numbers, or 2, or 3? One thing I also like to teach children when they're adding early on is the commutative property. And all that basically says is, if you add 4 and 3, and that makes 7, then you can also add 3 and 4, and it will still make 7. Teaching that commutative property earlier on is fun for them because they get to mix the blocks, but it makes things easier down the line. Teaching children the commutative property where the add-ins can be swapped and it still results in the same total, the same sum, is fun for them because they get to move the blocks around to show it, just like magic. And it also is going to save them time later on once they start memorizing facts. Hi parents, is your child struggling to read or even hates to read? Nothing you have tried has worked? Get my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. I'm going to show you the simple tricks that I've used for years to successfully improve children's reading and their confidence in reading. It's easy, it's simple, and it's free. Just go to theparentteacherbridge.com/reading help. You can find that link in the description below. Number 2, when you are teaching the concept of addition with your child, don't be afraid to use actual math words. The numbers that you are adding together are the add-ins. The answer is the sum, S-U-M. Sometimes you might use the word total for your answer. You might ask a question where you say, how many are there all together? But you also need to ask them, how many are there in all? And training them to hear these math words and math phrases now is going to help them understand word problems later on. Number 3, you can use simple number lines, even something that you draw yourself, to teach your child the concept of addition. What is it with one more? What if you go 2 more down the line or 3 more down the line? Here's what I'm talking about. So let's look at this problem, 4 plus 2. You're going to teach your child to go and find the number 4 and rest on the tick mark. Plus means you're going to go toward the right, and 2 means you're going to hop 2 tick marks. You're hopping over the spaces, but you're landing on the tick marks. 1, 2. Where did you land? That's right. You landed on 6. So 6 is the sum. Let's try another one. I'll switch colors here. Let's try 7 plus 3. Now, once your child has done numbers that are lower than 5, you're going to branch out and go farther up the number line. 7 plus 3. So how do we start? We find the 7. We put our pencil or our marker on the 7, and we go to the right. How many? 3. 1, 2, 3. Where did we land? Number 10. So 10 is our sum. You can bring back the number line later on when you start introducing subtraction. You can teach them that when you subtract a number, you go the other direction on the number line, sort of the backwards direction to the left. Number 4, teach the concept of counting on. I've used the counting on method early in addition with finger counting. So when you first start addition, you're using less than 10, numbers of less than 10 anyway. So let's say that your child is learning to add 5 plus 3. So they would have 3 fingers that they are adding plus 3. Then they say 5 with their head, and I usually have them nod. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that is their sum. Sometimes I've taught the counting on strategy by using touch point math. You can look up touch point math online, but basically, especially for the numbers 1, 2, and 3, it's really easy to remember. These are the touch points. The number 1 has 1 touch point, the number 2 has 2, and the number 3 has 3. So you count on, just like we counted on with our head, we said the number 4. 4. Now count the dots. 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if your child wants, they can actually draw a dot, or if that is taking too long, you can just have them tap it with their pencil. Number 5 is using graphic organizers. Here's an example of a graphic organizer that I've used before. Now, your larger number, your sum, the whole amount, is going to be here in the top, and then the 2 add-ins that you're adding together will go down here. And you can add those any way you want, whether memorizing or touch point or whatever. Here's another one. Number bonds. Where your largest number will go inside. Let's say we're adding 4 and 3. 4 and 3 make 7. Aren't those simple and easy to draw? Children like doing that with crayons and markers, and you might find that if you provide those materials, they'll start making up some of their own. Let me show you a few ways that you can adapt these graphic organizers to challenge your child just a little bit more. All right, let's look at these two problems. They are incomplete. We do have the total, we have the sum, but we don't have the other addend. If you have trained your child in using these simple graphic organizers, they know that the largest number is going to go here at the top or here in this circle that is connected to the other two circles in the number bond, okay? So then you can teach them 2, like you might nod with your head, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop because you've gotten to your total. How many dots did you draw? 3. So that is our missing addend. Or you can try the same thing here. You can use it with your fingers. You don't have to draw dots. So we're trying to get to our total, our sum, which is 6. 4, you might say with your head, 4, 5, 6. So how many dots did you draw before you got to 6? Just 2. Aren't these ideas so simple? They're so easy to try. Just make sure you're stocked with plenty of paper, markers, crayons, pencils. Your child will have more fun than you think, and especially if you have the right attitude as well. Did you find some helpful ideas in this video? Leave a comment below which one that you think you will try. And don't forget, share this with a friend. You can find more resources at theparentteacherbridge.com, including my 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. So be sure to check that out in the description below. Find us also on Facebook and Instagram. Remember, you are your child's most influential teacher.